Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to SFR for Division 1, Round 13 of the 20. Indigo or Jamie, and alongside me tonight is Owen Mansell. And how are you doing, mate? Nice to see you here after your fantastic victory yesterday, which you should be very happy about because you did a fantastic job.
Yep. Hello again. We're back again in Monaco. It's time for Division 1. And really pleased about my result last night. Obviously, as you was all saying, it was pretty much gifted to me. And I would say it was, to be fair, obviously with four cars in front of me, all making mistakes and all crashing out, basically, which gifted me with the win. But that is Monaco for you. The slightest mistake will obviously cost you quite a lot. So as long as you can keep it mistake free, you'll go a long way, especially in the race. But obviously the most important qualifying of the season as well is up for us, and for some reason it is also wet weather. We had it in Division 3 yesterday, in Division 2, and now obviously, as you can see, today in Division 1. So a bit of a repeat throughout the whole week. I don't know what the race will be like, but we'll find out when we get there, of course.
I think gifted is a bit too much of a hard word for you, because at the same time, they're the ones that made a mistake, not you. You kept it on the circuit. Other people made their own mistakes, whether they made contact with the wall or lost it by themselves. So yes, it was gifted in a way, but you got to be there to pick up the pieces, and that's what you did.
Yeah.
And you were under pressure as well towards the end of it. So it was gifted to you, like Oliver said, but at the same time, I think gift is a bit too much of a harsh word for that, because you kept it clean, you kept it consistent, and made no contact with the wall and no penalties either. So it was a deserved win for sure. You should be happy about it, because it's your first proper win, because after Miami you won it due to a post-race penalty, didn't you?
Yeah, and obviously I won it in Singapore as well. I think that was more deserved than it was around here. But like I said, is as long as you don't major mistake, and that was on the exit of the final corner on the first lap, when obviously Cassidy went past me. But that was the only real time I had that mistake, and then after that it was just mistake free, penalty free, and just trying to stay consistent throughout the whole race. I think because obviously it was early on as well, early on the race, obviously everyone was still trying to get into a rhythm. And obviously it is a bit hard to get into a rhythm to start the race off, but as soon as you're into that rhythm, that's it. You're concentrated. You know where your lines are every single lap. So I suppose in that way it's difficult to get into the rhythm, into a rhythm as well. Of course, obviously Kofi is on the lap as well. Obviously first lap of the day, but I'm sure in this qualifying session we'll see a lot of people doing quite a couple of laps to get used to the conditions. So we'll see what these guys can do in qualifying.
So the Sauber boy Glock is back, and Kofi is a new driver. We had two new drivers in Sauber last week, which was Wingish, who took the victory in Singapore, and it was Keenan Albarak who missed on the podium because Marco just got him. Across the line goes Kofi in the Sauber. It's an 18.4 as Jensen now goes towards the top of the timing sheets with an 18.3. I was at the party with him, and he recognized me in one of the videos because he posted out that new video that got released. And here comes Mercedes then across the line, but I believe he's going for a flying lap because it's Nordus, and Nordus was the one that slowed down in the tunnel section as well. Here comes the other Sauber Glock, who goes or stays in P17, but he is on the soft compound tyres, I've noticed there, so don't think it's drying off for softs yet. We did see the Sauber of Calvin go out very late as Ramovaj goes towards the top of the timing sheets. I believed, no, he didn't miss Singapore because he was involved in the collision with Harry Kane, which puts him down the order, and that's ruined his championship aspirations. But we've got plenty of races to go as Beremi goes into P4, also a driver getting caught out in that incident too, so it shuffled him backwards, didn't have the result he needed either. So Beremi and Ramovaj on the back foot as well for their championship. Laser goes up into P5, and he's right behind a Sauber as well as he taps the wall going out of the hairpin. It is Glock. I think Glock, he's obliged to go for a lap, but of course, he hits the back of him. It is Glock. And Laser goes, I just got the joke. Sorry about that. It took me a while to clock on. It was a while to clock on. Yeah, nice one there, Owen. Crossfire goes to P2. Now, I remember seeing this name somewhere else. Crossfire Strikes is very familiar, and I think I commentate over him on Thursdays. So yeah, he's a newcomer, and I think he did a race around here in Monaco, if I'm not mistaken. So welcome Crossfire Strikes. So he's another familiar name, and he knows my voice as well. So nice to see him. He's very quick as well. Remember him fighting for a podium in a race in Miami until he broke his wing. And by the way, my phone is on loud, so if you hear team radio noises, that's because of my phone, because that's my notification sound, which is very sad. But Nordis goes up into P2. It's 5-10 separating those two, Nordis and Ramavaj, and he's got a decent gap. Ivo gets a 5-place grid penalty with Glock, I presume because on those soft compound tyres.
Oh, I'm guessing it's something to do with entering the pit lane. I'm guessing maybe it had a similar incident last week with the 2 Red Bulls. I think the Glock might have hit the back of Ivo, and Ivo's given the 5-second penalty. So I think exactly the same has happened again, obviously around here in Monaco instead. And something about last week as well, between the incident between Ramavaj and Harry Kane, if you remember, Jamie, they had a bit of an incident. So the stewards got released the steward report, and Harry Kane did get a 5-second penalty and 1 penalty point. He lost the win. So Wingish took that win, but Harry Kane did appeal that report, and he actually won the case. So now his 5-second penalty has then been removed, and his 1 penalty point has also been removed. So Harry Kane does actually take the win at Singapore for that appeal. So that's what happens when you appeal. Sometimes you can actually win it. It's a very rare occasion. Occasionally you can win the stewards report, and Harry Kane did that, and he took the win in Singapore.
MDJ has crashed at the exit of the Nova Chicane. Pocket Valid Guy is on our lap, but unfortunately he invalidated there too. So Pocket Valid Guy will not improve on his flying lap, then go around again. He hasn't set a lap time on the board either, has Pocket Valid Guy. And Ramafaj goes towards the top of the time machines with a 16.4, a full second quicker than Kofi in P2. So every single driver out there is finding more grip and more confident. Harry Kane, Matthias, who has his 7th win of the season, the most out of anybody this season, comes around the end of the second sector, which is 7/10 up. There was an Alpine who was there, but I didn't quite see him. I didn't see him.
That was Pocket. No, who was it? Is it not Langfell's teammate? Who was it? Lord Danny Boy.
Here comes Harry Kane out of Anthony Nose as he powers towards the line. Is he going to beat Ramavaj's time? As he crosses the line now, it's going to be a 17.3, so only to P2, and he's 9 tenths away from Ramavaj's best time. Ramavaj really needs a decent result after losing out in the last few races. His best result last time was at the Imola Grand Prix, but he finished in P3 from starting towards the back end of the field because he couldn't get a lap time on the board. CDR Bobby, our newcomer, and Ivo gets another penalty. That's a 10th-place grid penalty. Bobby has just hit the back of the house, and also puts him in the wall as well, and he puts himself in the wall. So I'm not quite sure what on earth is going on here. Ivo just came out the pit lane, so how on earth? Who did he make contact with?
I think he made contact with Kofi. I think Kofi it wasn't really Ivo's fault that time. Basically, Kofi has just finished a lap, and Ivo came out the pit lane, and obviously because Kofi basically what Kofi did was he went straight across the yellow line into basically game for some reason. It wasn't even Ivo's fault. It didn't really go anywhere else.
Oh, there's a crash! Kofi's crashed!
Talking about Kofi, yes. He's done. Who did it yesterday? It was Emil's and it's Zenon and Cassidy. Exact same corner. Just basically turned in too early and hit that inside wall. We've seen that a couple of times. I saw that a couple of times in yesterday's race, and Kofi is the first victim I've seen of them doing it today.
And meanwhile, Laser picked himself up a 5-place grip penalty with a save.
And he says, he's on the YouTube chat, he says, "Nice, my wheel." So I'm guessing maybe his wheel lost connection, he's got a problem with his wheel, something's gone wrong with his wheel there, so he's blaming his wheel for that.
If there's Glock on his lap, still on them soft compound tyres, by the way, so I'm not quite sure what the strategy is here, but it's still intermediate compound conditions. Harry Kane goes up into P2, also going for another lap on them set of inters. Ramavaj is on his in-lap, I believe it is, or preparing for another fly lap. Here comes Remy now towards the final corner in Anthony Nose, using the overtake button. Let's see where he can put his Red Bull as he crosses the line now. It's a 17.6, so it's a 10th down on his personal best voltage, also a newcomer in this league. So we've got Kofi, we've got Crossfire, Voltage, Ivo, Bobby, and yeah, that's it. That's the newcomers then. So we've got some newcomers that I know and very quick indeed. So I can't wait to see what they could do on their debut here. Unfortunately, Wingish is not here after finishing in second place on his debut back in Singapore. The ILT driver, I'm sure the ILT boys were in the chat. We've got a CPI driver, so I'm sure their manager of Troy A will be watching as well to see what he could do in the house. And also Troy A is, well, Shazoo Jensen, which is a big esports team. We know that Shazoo is massive, and I've commentated over their league as well. Not their league, but their esports championship. So quite a familiar few faces. Sorry.
A couple of guys are going on the soft tyres now. We've got Jensen on the soft tyres, we've got Noldus on the soft tyres, and now Ramavaj on the soft tyres. Obviously, Ramavaj and Noldus haven't come out pit lane yet, but Jensen is going to be trying on their soft compound tyres. So it looks like we're having very similar conditions from what we had yesterday, where it was pretty much dry at the very end. Obviously, DRS was unable at the last minute and a half or something. So it looks like it's very, very similar conditions, because I'm guessing these guys think it's going to stop raining very soon if some of these guys are now starting to go on the soft compound tyres. But it does look like Jensen is struggling a bit with the soft compound tyres, and he comes straight back into the pit lane, so he's not confident on them at all.
Yeah, the delta, by the way, for those who race on the wet conditions, the delta is not correct when you go in the pit lane. I had it a few days ago where it was a wet league race for me, and it said the dry compound tyres are faster when they're not. It's the inters as well. Here comes Pocket Valley guy rounding Rascas now, where Charles Leclerc made contact, I think, with Nico Hulkenberg back in 2019 when he made his way through the field. Here he is, Pocket Valley guy in McLaren. Let's see what he could do. Goes towards P3 with a 17.2 as the track continues to rubber in and get better. I say rubber in. The track is getting better and better as all the drivers are finding more grip out there and more confidence as well. Ramavaj is in the garage on the soft compound tyres just waiting for those stages, but it was drying up towards the end of qualifying yesterday. We only saw one person on them soft compound tyres, which was, I think it was Calvin, who put on them softs, but unfortunately made a mistake at a turn one already, so that ruined his lap and didn't get the lap he needed, so that's why he started down in 9th place at the time. But majority of drivers just waiting in the pit lane there, with Bobby who's coming around. I think it's Messino, what is it called? Casino, there we go. Casino Square, how can I forget about that, as we go down towards Mirabo, where Nico Rosberg back in 2014, as Bobby goes out wide and makes contact with the wall on the outside, locks up going into the hairpin. Nico Rosberg went down the escape road on his last lap of qualifying. We could talk about all day if it was purposeful or not, as Martin has retired in the pit lane. And here, out of, I think it's Portier, where we saw Sergio Perez, I dare say, confidently, judging by the graphics, crashed out on purpose, because on his first run he did the normal thing where you apply the throttle gingerly, and the second run where he booted it, full throttled it out of the corner and spun, and Carlos Sainz hit him as well, and that's why Max Verstappen couldn't go for pole. Perez out qualified it, and Perez went on to win and not talk about what happened after the race either on that yacht. But anyways, here comes Bobby now coming towards Rascas as he makes his way around that corner, where we see plenty of people hit the tyres on the right rear as we go out of Anthony's nose, and now Bobby can get the foot down and see where he could put that Ferrari car as he crosses the line now, goes up into P2, so decent lap time from CDR Bobby, and he's just ahead of Harry Kane by 1300 per second as Kane makes his way back in the pit lane. Lasers out there in P11, 7 tenths up is the McLaren driver, so let's see what he could do on his second run or first one on these set of inters. 5 minutes left to go in this qualifying session, and we've got a majority of people out there on the intermediates, while some people are staying in the garage looking to see if the softs are better. Langfeld goes up into P11. Here comes Laser now across the line, P5.
Yeah, good luck there from Laser. I said, Rob, he's been up there for at least 10 minutes now, and he's the only person still in more than it's 16. But the track is definitely improving. I don't think it is improving as much as it did yesterday. Obviously, everyone was gaining about a second every lap, especially from my side anyway. So I don't think the conditions are. And it's obviously, you can still see it's still light rain. It's not heavy rain, but yeah, it's still raining anyway. Langkaus has had an absolute not a very good corner out that hairpin. He's coming into the tunnel now. I think he's probably got front wheel damage as well. No, he hasn't. He's got away with it, but he loses the back end. Then he goes, I think it was Sergio Perez back in 2011 when under braking he just lost control and hit that wall. But yeah, he comes through nearly sector 3 now. Yeah, he's 7 tenths down. So yeah, not a very good lap so far. Jensen is currently about just under 3 tenths up on sector 1 line. Sector 2 line, he is now 9 tenths up. So he could be, if he has a very good sector 3, really goes over those curves and invalidates from going over those curves. So unlucky there from Jensen. He was about second up. Crossfires in 10th. He is, what did it say? 6 tenths up on his time as well. He's currently doing an 18.0, comes under the tunnel now. So Yeah, just like the track is definitely improving. All these guys are starting to improve a little bit now. But yeah, what about Ramavad? Ramavad, I think he's started the lap as well, so he's coming up to the sector 1 line as well. I'm going to quickly see what he does. He does pretty much exactly the same time.
Elsewhere, Bobby invalidated at the Nova Chicane. Noldus also validated too, as we watched Johnson clatter the curbs and take too much of it, which as a result ended up in invalidation. So those three drivers there
invalidates as well, exactly the same play where Johnson did on his previous lap.
I think Voltage has just crashed out of turn 1 on the full map there, so he unfortunately has the Williams driver. I think that's where Marcus Ericsson crashed under a safety car at turn 1. Lord Boy has retired from the session. That's at the exit of
Ramavage invalidates.
Exit of Mirabeau, or before Mirabeau, and he's crashed halfway down there like Mick Schumacher did, I think, in 2022, when he also ripped the car in half as well at this corner where Ramavage is at the swimming pool section. We've seen plenty of crashes at the exit of that swimming pool section. Remember Max Verstappen being one of them, Charles Leclerc, and loads of other people before. Not the first, the second, or the last to get caught out. There's 2 minutes left to go in this qualified session. 19 drivers make an appearance here qualified, which is very nice to see, because I didn't expect many people turning up, especially at a track like this. And Crossfire's down as well. Langfell is on the out lap, so pretty much people on in laps, out laps.
Has just started. I'm guessing this is going to be his final lap of the day. So he's coming up towards casino section, just exactly where Atlas Copo hit that inside wall, just right there. Obviously, then I was able to get through. Let's see his sector 1. He's actually so intense down, so it doesn't actually look like he's on a lap. So it looks like he's going to wait. And just in one more lap before his final lap. I think obviously a session like this, I think your final lap is definitely the most important, especially around this track as well. I think Bear Remy, he's also about to start his final lap as well, so a lot of these guys now starting the lap.
Look at Matthias, 4/10 up in the first sector already as he goes down towards the hairpin. We've got a bit of traffic in our way. A Haas, we've got a Mercedes driver too, but hopefully they're on a flying lap, so they don't hold up Matthias there as he makes his way around Portier, as he gets on the full throttle now. Under the bridge we go. We saw that massive moment with Isaac Hadjar and another driver in F2 this season, where Isaac Hadjar was on a lap and he came across a slow-moving car. As there comes the Haas in front of us, not quite sure which one it is. Is it Ivo? Is it Jensen? I'm not quite sure. But as he makes his way now towards the end of the set, so the Haas has hit the wall. Harry Kane is a second up. The Haas again smashes the wall, and he's out of the qualified session. It was Ivo, but Harry Kane safely negotiates it as he taps the wall at the exit of the swimming pool session. So thankfully, the Haas is out of the way as he makes his way out of Raskas, going down towards Anthony Nose. Has that moment at the swimming pool session cost Harry Kane a bit of time, and let's see then as he makes his way towards the line. It's going to be a 50.8, and he puts himself on provisional pole, and he raised the bar by about 0.6 of a second. Can anybody respond now? The main dying stage of qualifying, Ramavach is a few hundreds up, a quarter of a tenth of a I think I got that mixed up there. 3/4, there we go.
That's it. So Laser's basically done the exact same sector 1 time as Ramavach, well, probably a little bit slower, but Laser and Ramavach are pretty much with are together basically. As you can see, I don't know who you're on board with, but Ramavach, we've got Laser right in front of him. Laser 3.5 tenths up. It's not going to be anywhere close really to Harry Kane.
Yeah, he validated the exit of the swimming pool session, unfortunately, but Crossfire Strikes puts himself into PT. He was quite strong in the intermediates in another race I was commentating over him. Even though he had full wind damage, it wasn't here, it was in Miami. But Bobby is a 10th up in the first sector. McLaren crosses the line, that's Laser, who goes up into P4. Next is the Williams, as he goes over the line. That's Ramavach, who just saw invalidated. We've got a Sauber making his way down towards the pit straight now, slowly making his way down there, but let's see if he does improve. He goes up into P7 on the intermediates. There's an RB crossing the line. It's Harry Kane, it's a 50.7, and it's a 10th quicker as well, so raised the bar once again. I think Bear Remy's also out there too, exiting another chicane as Bobby invalidates. He just outbroke himself there and went wide. As a result, invalidated. But what's Bear Remy doing?
He's a second up. Jensen's a second up, but at the moment he doesn't even look like he's going to be anywhere close to Harry Kane. So let's see what Jensen up. Obviously, pole position was last time, and he goes up to P4.
And I think that could conclude qualifying, unless Pocket by the guy can't do it about it because of the soft compound tyres. Oh, Bobby's hit the wall, but we know he's evaluated anyway. So that's Hurricane on pole with a 50.7. Crossfire strikes on his debut. Fantastic job. Goes up into P2 and he splits the championship contenders there. Ramavaj goes up into P3 ahead of Jensen in the Haas. Jensen, who was our pole sitter last week in Singapore, but couldn't convert it into a win because his setup wasn't suited towards the car. He kept losing the back end every time he applied the throttle or went into corners. Laser in P5. Laser, I think MDJ was the one that won the Monaco Grand Prix last time he came here 2 seasons ago when he was fighting with the likes of Hurricane and Laser. Laser took the championship in season 14, was the champion, sorry. MDJ was second and Hurricane was third in the championship as well. But Hurricane has came a long way since, and we'll see then what happens around here in Monaco. It was a decent race, and also I like to point out that me and Energy Dan, it was our first time commentating here in SFR 2 seasons ago. I arrived here in SFR after a 5-year absence because I didn't get booted out. I removed myself due to an unfortunate situation at the time. There is a 5-place grid penalty for Laser, so he drops down into P10 unless the lobby gets restarted. And Ivor as well. But my first time commentator for SFR was 2 seasons ago at the Monaco Grand Prix. So it is special, this one for me, but not too special because we know the races are not that great around here unless something major happens with the safety cars, people trying to go up the inside into certain corners that might not make it. But yeah, what a long way we've come since season 14, and the league continues to build up once again thanks to the admins of SFR as well. Fantastic job, the admins, to find all these drivers, especially the ones that do esports as well, because the esports drivers don't have a lot of time on their hands in terms of doing these type of leagues, because obviously they've got to do a lot of practice and communicate with the engineers, etc., like Hazara does, because Hazara, we saw him race half of the season until he had to go towards EML, the league I commentated for, but I dropped it because I wanted to do SFR instead. That tells you how much I like SFR.
Yeah, SFR is a brilliant league. Obviously, this is the only league I race in. Basically ever since I think I joined back in season 8. Then obviously I had a little bit of a break. I think after about season 11, season 10, and then obviously I've come back again at the end of last season. But yeah, no, SFR has been great. It's a couple of leagues that I've been in before, and they've not been as good as SFR. So SFR is definitely my home as well. Yeah, it's just nice to be. All the guys in SFR are brilliant as well. Everyone's brilliant. But yeah, strategy. It's just easy, one stop, medium hard. So you can. This is one of the tracks where you can use the soft compound tyres, and we have got a lobby restart as well, as everyone is leaving. As I can already see you already left the session, Jamie.
Yeah, I didn't want to hang around, but you know what I like to do during a lobby restart, don't you, Owen? I like to do
around Monaco by any chance.
Yeah. And I'm going to be absolutely terrible. I've not driven on this track for like 2 years. I've always boycotted Monaco, no matter what. But I can't boycott it now because I'm commentating. So picking Laser setup, there's a lot of handy times here with the guys in the 7th. So let's go on board with a lap around Monaco. Expect me to hit the wall every single time. I've not been driven this track for a long time. I've already hit the wall already, but out of Anthony knows they get the power down, DRS enabled. My brake bias is 56%. It's easy to lock up here as we go down towards turn 1. There's no real reference point for turn 1. You want to cut the apex into turn 1, which I didn't do, but used all the outside track as we climb up towards the hill and then coming into Casino Square. Let's see how I take it. Down into 5th gear, carry the speed through. Oh, lose the back end there, so I messed up completely as I go through Massenet on the power, and it's very scruffy. It's go down towards the end of the first set, so hitting the wall everywhere I go. Down 2nd gear, back on the power, then down into 1st gear. Full lock on the steering to get the car turned in. Out of the corner, we go towards the 2 slow speed corners, hitting the apex very nicely there. Going towards Portier, also do the same thing. And you want to use the curb on the outside as well for maximum support and utilising all the track. We go under the tunnel then, flat out through here. Very bright at the end of the tunnel as we go down towards the no chicane, break at the 100-metre board, slow the car down. Try and cut the apex there, but I didn't do that because absolutely shocking. But as we go down towards Tabac, carry the speed through, that's very nice there. As we carry all the speed all the way down towards the swimming pool section, hits the walls on the outside there, cuts to the corner really nicely. As we get back on the throttle then, as we lock up going into Rascas, we go, hit the wall again as we go down towards Anthony Nose, and I spin out the corner. Very lovely indeed.
I'm just watching the footage as well.
It's all about attacking the track. All of it's about attacking the track, but It's very hard to do so when you haven't got the confidence, and my lap time's going to be a 10.9 without that spin as well. Second lap, let's see how I take it. Better through turn one this time, only gained about 2/10 of a second there. You did use a bit of curve on the entry. Going down towards the casino, we saw, I think, a Red Bull and a Toro Rosso crash there back in 2008 in the wet conditions. That caused to lose the back end of the car as well, so I don't know what laser setup's doing, or unless I'm getting on throttle a bit too early than anticipated. And the hairpin as well, just full lock. Very important though to have a working controller, because sometimes stick drift can affect your turning as well. Because I've had the stick drift, and it's horrible because I can't fall off the car and get on the power as quickly as I wanted to, or turn the car in.
Sorry to interrupt you, Jamie, but everyone has now rejoined the session, so I think you should probably better come back in.
No, I want to stay, Owen. I want to stay. No, I'm joking. It was a different track.
So
I probably nailed it.
well, I think we're waiting on one more driver, but we have now got 18 drivers already into the lobby. Obviously, ladies have got to wait until everybody has joined before he can start doing the grid manually. I think this is because of the penalties. The lobby restart is because of the penalties that the drivers did get in qualifying, which are basically really, really stupid penalties, to be fair. So this is the reason for the restart. Obviously, ladies have got the 5-place grid penalty. I don't know what for. And also, Ivo also got a 10-second grid penalty. Wouldn't have affected him as much because he did qualify in P18 anyway. But obviously, I suppose the track round here, positions is definitely key, especially if you qualify even 18th or 19th. I mean, 18th is obviously better than 19th. So every position counts, especially in SFR as well, when every single point you score for every single point in position-wise, P1 to P20, everyone gets a point. So at least 1 point anyway. So yeah. That's one of the good things about SFR, to be fair, is that obviously everyone can get 1 point. I know before we used to do the format of the real F1 point system, so only first attempt to get a point. But the issue we had with that is that you get a lot more people not finishing the race because, well, what's the point? Then the race basically racing for nothing, which obviously makes sense. SFR then brought in this new point system in, so everyone gets points. There's a lot less drivers now DNFing, which is a good thing for everyone who's spectating, and obviously for us as well, Jamie, because obviously there's more action on track for us, so there's more things to commentate on as well.
Indeed as well. I was just watching the 2008 Monaco Grand Prix there when Lewis Hamilton hit the barriers and Nick Heidfeld and Fernando Alonso making contact down at the hairpin. So yeah, a lot of stuff went on at the 2008 Grand Prix, and I think it was Massa who led the race at the start, and Hamilton picked up that puncher. Ferrari of Felipe Massa and Nick Heidfeld, or Robert Kubica, were leading too, but they both went down the escape road at turn number 1. Robert Kubica took the lead until Massa rejoined in P2. Not quite sure how Hamilton won the race because it was a long time ago. My memory wasn't that great. But Nico Rosberg, we saw Ivo crash at the swimming pool section, and Rosberg crashed there heavily down in 2008 at his home Grand Prix as he was living in Monaco at the time. He split his car in half, did he?
Yeah, that was back in 2022 when that happened. That was actually in the race as well. Like you said, he split the car in half, but it did look like a big accident. But ever since the crash in 2021 with Romain Grosjean, after that not 2021, 2020, sorry, when he had that massive accident. The cars, then the FIA did obviously brought in this system that where if there's a big crash like that, the car is now designed to split in half like that, obviously separating the main area where the driver sits, and then obviously all the fuel and engine and all the flammable bits obviously split in half. So there's one half where there's all flammable and all the fuel and all the flammable stuff in one area, which obviously is the rear of the car, and then obviously the main driver in the front half of the car. So the FIA and F1 is always trying to design as much as they can to obviously bring safety to the sport as much as they can, and they've definitely improved ever since let's say Ayrton Senna when he had that obviously that crash, and then obviously now look where Roman Grosjean. If the halo was not designed, we wouldn't have the likes of Roman Grosjean here at all. So safety in F1 has definitely come a long way since then.
And also, I'd like to point out George Bianchi in 2014 when he scored his
Yes,
first points from Russia. Fantastic race for him. Overtaking, I think it was Kamui Kobayashi at Raskas and barged his way through. He had a 5-second time penalty. He was in 8th at the time, but I think Grosjean was behind him. Dropped down to 9th. And that's when Russia scored their first ever points in Formula 1. Thank you to George Bianchi at the time and a future star as well. But yeah, what a race that was for him. As Marussia, HRT, and Caterham were all suffering because they didn't have the funds. The car was just underwhelming, and they didn't have the performance either. Those three small teams we had in Formula One. But yeah, I remember that race in 2014 as well when Rosberg took the victory ahead of Hamilton, Ricciardo finishing in P3 at the time, and Bianchi finishing in P9 for Marussia. So great job indeed for him.
Yeah, if Bianchi was still about, he would definitely be at Ferrari by now, I think. If Bianchi never had that accident, Leclerc and Bianchi would be at Ferrari right now, definitely. I don't even think Hamilton would even been able to join Ferrari next year, because I know even Carlos Sainz, I think Sainz would have most likely been staying at McLaren as well, with obviously partnering with Norris. I think he would probably been still there as well. But yeah, it's like, what if that accident never happened? I 100%, I reckon he would have definitely been at Ferrari by now.
For sure. Luckily, Leclerc's up there shining as well. So Leclerc obviously being Bianchi being Leclerc's godson at the time as well. And Leclerc joined Sauber back in 2018 with Marcus Ericsson. Ericsson not doing best for Sauber in 2018 because Leclerc always outperformed and outraced him as well. And that's when Leclerc got his P6 for his best result in Formula 1 at the 2018 Baku Grand Prix. And he's very strong at Baku, but just can't seem to take a win because every time he gets the chance, something always happens. But to be fair to him, 2023, the car wasn't really that great for him because Red Bull at the top of the A game with Perez and Verstappen. 2022, I actually can't remember the Baku Grand Prix in 2022. What actually happened? 2022. Was it
Remember.
Perez who won?
I think,
you know what? Why is that gone out of my memory?
I think it was the start. So yes, Perez did win because he did have a couple of wins. No, was it? No, I can't remember. No, it might have been Verstappen that won it. To be fair, because I think because obviously he had the accident in 21 and with that leg puncture, and then I think he came back to win it the next year, and then Perez won it in 23.
Yeah, so for some reason I forgot about the 2022 Grand Prix. Yeah, it was Verstappen who won the Grand Prix. It was Perez in P2 and I think Russell in P3 because both Ferraris were out at the start of 2022 and also Sebastian Vettel making mistakes as well. But yeah, and what a season it's been in F1 24 so far. We've got a lot to talk about as well. The latest being that Liam Lawson being dropped by RB and Daniel Ricciardo coming in to replace him for the rest of the season. So we'll see.
The way around.
Yeah, sorry, the other way around. Daniel Ricciardo being dropped from RB, and Liam Lawson will take over for the next 6 races. And Yuki Tsunoda, poor guy. People talk about whether he should be up into Red Bull or not, or will he be stuck in RB for a long time. But Liam Lawson will join the second seat, and the pressure will be on for both drivers because they know there could be a potential opportunity to try and get the Red Bull seat for Perez.
Yeah, if it's basically, I reckon it's Tsunoda's last chance to say, look, I'm the person to be in that Red Bull seat right now. He basically what Tsunoda needs to do, because I know Lawson is definitely a good driver. Obviously, when he had reserved last year in the 2023, he had some amazing results. Obviously, that was only reserving as well. But Tsunoda's side, he really needs to outscore Liam Lawson as much as he can to say, look, I am definitely the person that should be in that Red Bull seat at some point, because some reasons and. It don't seem like Red Bull don't really want Tsunoda to be in that seat. Obviously, when Ricciardo first came into the team, they were like, yeah, if Perez has bad performances, we're going to put Ricciardo in the seat. But obviously with Ricciardo's bad performances, obviously he then got dropped. But then it's the same again. If Lawson has good results, they reckon they'll put Lawson into the car, into that Red Bull seat. But yeah, Tsunoda just needs to make sure he outscores his teammate make it hard on Red Bull a bit.
All 19 drivers line up on the grid. Martin being the last one, and Ivo down in P18 as well. We did have a lobby restart because of an unfortunate situation with people picking up penalties more than twice. And here we are then. Pierre-Remy, pocket by the guy Kofi, Voltage, Langform, MDJ, Oliver, Ivo, and Martin will start with the hardcore power tyres. The rest on the mediums then. Let's see what happens down into Sandefjord. And there are the lights then. They're about to go off any second. And we are underway for the Monaco Grand Prix. It looks like that the Red Bull gets a decent start. Rabovac gets bogged down. Here comes Jensen now, side by side with the Williams as we go down towards turn 1. Jensen on the outside. The McLaren's off the track. And the Red Bull too. They're both parked up. And the exit of turn 1. That's Laser and Pierre-Remy. And for the second time this season, both of them made contact on the opening lap of a race. We saw that back in the Australian Grand Prix. They went deep. There they are. The McLaren driver and the Red Bull. And those two again making contact like they did in the Australian Grand Prix. And Laser's picked up end plate damage. So what on earth happened there between those two?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Oh, look at this pocket money go up the inside.
Ooh.
He's made contact with the Sauber there. He tries to take on two people. That was a very optimistic move indeed. He couldn't quite make it stick. He is a ghosted car though, so try and use this opportunity to try and overtake the RB driver. But has he picked up any damage? That was so late on the brakes there. And Crossfire is right at the back of Kane. Kane has gone off the track there, and Crossfire, when he take advantage, he can't. But Harry Kane might have picked himself a penalty. There's yellow flags, Voltage out of the race. Oh, yeah, the VSCs came out.
He's done exactly what Zenon did. Yesterday he's hit exactly the same wall. That's Voltage out. So yeah, first victim in Monaco, first VSC in Monaco lap. We're only halfway through lap 1 as well, but yeah, Pierre-Remy, Laser, I don't know exactly what happened to them, because what I like doing, I like going spectating right at the back. So I was on board with Martin just to see if anything happens at the back while you're looking at the front, just to make sure we're catching at every single view perspective, let's say. But Ivo and Martin both come in with new front wings. Laser has decided to stay out. He thinks he can maybe manage this damage. And I think also...
Oh, there's contact, sorry. Bobby just hit the back of Ramovac under VSC conditions as they applied the brakes to adhere to the delta. Damage. He has got damage, and Bobby unfortunately would go to the pit lanes. That's a very costly mistake there. People making contact under the VSC or stage car.
But being Monaco, do you really want to pit and around here? Because like I said, if you looked at my defending yesterday, you just can't overtake. It's very difficult to overtake. So yeah, we'll see what someone goes wide. Is that is late? That's Jensen. Sorry, that's gone really wide, and that Ramovac has gone through. I think Jensen pretty much let him through because obviously he made that mistake. So Ramovac goes up to P3 now. Jensen down to P4. Got some action right at the back. Pierre-Remy left. And who's that? I think it might be who is it? Oliver maybe? Lord Danny Boy? Something that's happened there. But Bobby does actually come into the pit, and he's retired. He's out
of this race already, and unfortunately had a good qualifying but just hit the back on the VSC. A very small mistake, and yeah, Langfeld sets the fast up of the Grand Prix. The VSCs just came in, but I've noticed on both occasions, on lap 1 and 2, Crossfire is already putting Harry Kane under pressure. He made him go out wide at the exit of the Nova chicane. Martin's retired as another VSC, as at the swimming pool section, and Martin once again causing a safety car like he did in Division 2 yesterday. I think he was one of those people that caused a safety. No, he didn't. Sorry, he was in the RB. I got confused with another person. So Martin's gone. He finished 6th, I think, ahead of Sonic Hawk at the time, as with the only 9 finishes in that Grand Prix. So we're down 16, 3 gone already. Voltage, Martin, and Bobby. And 16 drivers remain in this race as well, with one of our championship contenders at the back, because Laser lost his championship lead over Harry Kane as Kane took the victory in Singapore. The gap is now 3 points.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be a massive advantage for Harry Kane if he can keep it clean now, or try and get to the end now. As long as he can make no errors, then he should be okay, and that championship lead will be huge. Obviously Ramovac is in P3, so I do believe Ramovac might take that P2 away from Laser, as if it stays this way. But yeah, we've now got 2 VSCs, as Lord Danny Boy gets a drive-through penalty for speeding. Yeah, the Delta is not very good round here. It is very difficult to be in the Delta, but yeah, you've got a penalty for going negative while the VSC ends, and he comes straight in to serve that penalty as well.
two Saubers getting close to each other. That's Kofi and versus Glock. Glock is a full-time driver in the Sauber. Kofi is a reserve. So how hard will he put the pressure on against this more?
Crossfire really close to Harry Kane. He tried to go for a move just before that corner going into the hairpin, but it doesn't quite work. They didn't make contact, luckily, but yeah, Crossfire's really close to Harry Kane at the moment.
You can see him swapping lines as we exit the slow speed corners now out of Portier all the way down towards the chicane. Harry Kane did get a warning, by the way, on lap 1, but he's too far back to do so to try and make him move down the inside. But he's definitely applying the pressure. He just needs to catch Harry Kane off guard, make him go out wide somewhere and try and make the move. That's what you did yesterday on that last Copa, where you put the pressure on him and he was the one that made a mistake. No, yeah, it was that last Copa, sorry, because I just saw him in the lobby and I was thinking to myself, it could have been him, but it is. He's a reserve driver. Lord Daddy Boy has crashed. Could this be a safety car? It isn't.
Yeah, I think he's alone at the moment, so a safety car hasn't come out. What I've noticed is that normally you get a VSC or a safety car comes out when there is other drivers about, but because there's nobody around him, there will be no virtual safety cars or the main safety car.
Of course, the first VSC was introduced back in the 2015 Monaco Grand Prix when Max Verstappen hit the back of Pastor Maldonado, crashed into the barriers, and that's when Lewis Hamilton cost himself a victory because it was the team that decided to box him. Rosberg and Vettel went through. Hamilton was right alongside Vettel, but obviously Vettel rejoined in front of him, so he had to let the place go. Then Rosberg and Vettel took an easy victory because obviously it's easy to defend around here in Monaco. Hamilton was absolutely distraught about that one, and that's when Rosberg took his second win in Monaco, his home Grand Prix, or his third win, sorry. That was his last win in Monaco in 2015. Here we are with Crossfire and Harry Kane then with each other once again. Crossfire is just looking for that one little mistake to put Harry Kane off and try and go through. That's what he's got to do. Just apply the pressure every single lap because Harry Kane will be watching his mirrors as well to try and see where the RB or where can the RB strike. He's been very close in the first sector. He's been super close at the chicane, but at the same time he just can't find a way through. It's just ever so frustrating around here in Monaco.
Yeah, Harry Kane, he needs to concentrate on himself more than what Crossfires is doing. All that Harry Kane needs to do is, like I said, make sure he doesn't make any mistakes, and make sure he uses his ERS at the moments he needs to, just to stay ahead of Crossfires. Crossfires really does get closer around that right-hander, but like I said, it's Monaco, it's just difficult to overtake. As later, there's now boxed for a new front wing as well.
You can see him swapping lines there to get better traction out of corners, try and get all of the back of him, and let's see, can he make the move going down here? No, he's a bit too far back. We saw Joe Guan Yu make a move for somebody, I think it was in 2022, when he went off the circuit, and my god, that was a very scary moment indeed. We saw Brendan Hartley and Charles Leclerc make contact down there at the chicane as well, when Leclerc had a brake failure and smacked into the back of the Toro Rosso Honda at the time. Now it's called RB, and here we are. They're skipping and jumping over the chicane, and we'll see what happens going down to Raskas. Raskas is another place to do it, but you've got to be super close and alongside somebody to try and make that move. It's very difficult to do so indeed.
Yeah, obviously when you're overtaking around Monaco, you've got to really have, you really have to trust the opponent that you're attacking or defending against, to make sure they give you space. I tried to go for a move on Atlas Copo, going up the hill towards the casino, but he did close the gap, so I had to back right off to make sure I didn't make any contact with him. But he obviously at Atlas Copo, he was in front. He was obliged to do that. He could do what he wanted, obviously, because he was in front. But yeah, like I said, what the Crossfires needs to do is just wait until Harry Kane makes a mistake to take advantage, because that might be his only opportunity to take the lead and obviously try and win this race if he can as well. That will probably be the only opportunity that he'll get.
Yeah, we saw that the undercut can be powerful too, but at the same time, if you go for an early pit stop, you might find yourself rejoining traffic, and we've seen how difficult it is as Crossfire literally skips the chicane.
Warning for that.
And he must have picked up a warning shortly, so I think they're both awarded one warning each, unless we saw, of course, we didn't see what happened else. He has a massive slide at the corner, and he taps the barrier on the exit too.
Ramavaj has lost his front wing. He did exactly the same as Crossfires, and Ramavaj now lost his front wing. Jensen's going to try and go around the outside. Contact again between the two, and now Ramavaj and both Jensen slowed right down. Jensen's now going to try and get the overtake done properly, and he does get the move done at the casino section. Noldus is now right behind him, so Noldus will try and take the advantage. They both hit the wall, they're both losing the car. Jensen's lost the car, he's going to try and get that double move done on Noldus, and he does. What a move from Noldus, 4 to P3.
Noldus finished in P5 at the Singapore Grand Prix, was on the podium, but he had Keenan Albarak and Marco closing him down. And this is a big opportunity for Noldus, who was running a lonely race in P5, although he had Kofi in the back of him. But now he's up into P3 due to the expense of those two making contact there. I think they both lost their end players. Once again, Crossfire's out! He just hit the wall at the exit, and he's out of the race. And the VSC has been deployed.
Yeah. He's done exactly the same what Cassidy did yesterday. So that's our second victim now who's lost it at that section. So Harry Kane will be so pleased to see Crossfires out of this race. It's the gap between, he's actually pitted right now, so he's going to try and get this free pit stop done straight away. So Noldus is going to follow in him. Ramovac has decided to stay out. I think Jensen's got some damage, so this has also saved him. Ramovac, I'm pretty sure he got some damage. Yeah, he has got some damage, but he has decided to stay out. I thought he would pit under this VSC to get that front wing change, but he hasn't. So Kofi also stays out. He's already on hard compound tyres. Same with MDJ and Pocket Valley Guy. But yeah, we've got 5 people that has already stopped under this VSC. Where has Harry Kane come out? He's come out right behind a Pocket Valley Guy, so he might be stuck behind him. Where is Noldus? Because Noldus is pretty much now his rival for this race. Noldus is now up to P2. So yeah, this would be a great result for Noldus if he can get this P2 finish.
Here's the interesting factor. For those guys who pitted onto a brand new set of hardcore power tyres, can they overtake those guys on track? Now, so let's see then how easy it is to pass somebody even though they're on older tyres. You can defend. We saw Daniel Ricciardo defend against Sebastian Vettel when he lost power in 2018 for the Renault engine. That wasn't really that great that year, as Ricciardo retired a lot due to his Renault engine blowing at the time. So Kane's in P5, Noldus is in P8. How easy or how difficult it is to try and get past them? Should he wait behind them and wait for them to go in the pit lane, because he's in a net P2 right now, I dare say. But let's see if he tries to go for an overtake, or will he stay behind, because this could be a really risky strategy if he tries to go for an overtake, because contact can be made around here. And let's see that Harry Kane's 1.3 seconds behind Pocket Valley Guy, and the DRS is enabled for Bearemy, who's all of the back of Langford. Those two haven't pitted yet either as we go towards the first corner. Kofi's right behind Ramovac, but we know that Ramovac has got the damage after he made contact with Jensen R. Jensen pitted for a brand new set of the hardcore power tyres. Ellie's in the chat to support Mansell, who's trying to get a podium around here in Monaco as we go through Massenet. Sorry, not support you, support Noldus. Simo's the one supporting you.
That's the one.
So here is the Sauber then. He knows the Williams has got front wing damage in front of us, but let's see, can he make an overtake on the Williams? The Williams decide to stay out there on older tyres. Kofi is getting close to the wall on the exit of the corner there. Noldus has caught up to Bearemy and has caught up to Langfeld as well. So he's going to get stuck behind those two as we go down towards the swimming pool section there. You can see that Kofi's carrying more speed through the corner thanks to the lack of downforce from the Williams. But he's right to the back of him. Bearemy's right to the back of Langfeld with Noldus there too. So keep an eye on P6 and P7 and P8, because that could be crucial. Harry Kane has caught up to Pocket Valley Guy. Pocket Valley Guy could do his teammate a favour, but although he's dropped into 14th place, there's not really any point. Pocket Valley Guy might as well focus on his own race there, because Lacer's so far back in 14th place. As Glock picks himself up a 3-second tablet down there in P11. He's gone to a brand new set of hards. We can see Ramovac is really struggling out of Casino Square, going into Massenet, and Kofi so frustrated. It's basically a roadblock in front of him. He just can't find a way through unless he makes a big mistake, of course. Look at this, they're trying to go around the outside of the hairpin, but there's no way through. That's in first gear as well.
Yeah, I think this is the only track where you go down to first gear, pretty much, and the only track where you don't actually hit 8th gear at all. This is where Kofi now goes and hits 8th gear. But yeah, it's the only track where you don't actually hit 8th gear. I think you do it in real life as well. You don't hit 8th gear, especially in the race. I think in qualifying you do, but yeah.
Harry Kane was looking for a move on Valley Guy, but couldn't get past him. He's right at the back of him with the fresher tyres. He can't find a way through, and he's stuck behind him once again. So best place is probably out of Anthony Nose going down into 1. Jensen and Oliver swapping away for P9 and P10. Oliver's got a 3-second tablet for cutting the corner, so I think he outbook himself defending from Jensen there. I think one of them, oh, Jensen's in the wall at the back there as well, so he might cost himself more damage. But here on board with the Red Bull drive on Hurricane, Kofi's right at the back of Ramovaj again as we go down towards turn number 4. Can Kofi just try and find a way past the Williams, dispatch him and pull away to make his one-stop strategy work? He can't. Jensen retired in the pit lane.
Out. Yep.
No safety car deployed on that occasion. Where is Hurricane? He's right at the back of McLaren once again. MDJ is running on a podium paying position, but that's for a net P3 because we know the guys behind him have pitted onto a brand new set of hard. Nolden is stuck behind Remy and Langfeld, so they gave up track position for new tyres, but will that cost him in the end?
I have a feeling that because obviously Harry Kane came into the pits and obviously everyone's now followed him in. We've got a virtual safety car now, to be fair, because I think because of Glock. Glock is out. He's hit that. I know exactly
that inside wall, and he's out.
Yeah, so it crashed where I think who crashed there last time? Was it Lord Danny Boy who crashed there a few moments ago? Was it him?
I don't think it was, but he's done exactly what Atlas Copo did yesterday, hit that inside wall. Obviously Atlas Copo didn't go out the race, but yeah, he's hit that inside wall and he's out. I don't exactly know what's happened, but Ramovaj has now decided to stop and also changed up front wing as well.
So the VSC, another VSC has worked in his favours, although it disappears right now. We can get green flag racing once again. I think he'll be drawing behind Noldus. In front of Oliver, it could be nip and tuck on the exit with Oliver. So let's see what happens going down into turn 1. Oliver is in the background. Here he is in the Ferrari, and he rejoins behind him. Doors Ramovaj, but ahead of Ivo, who's running in P10 there as we go down towards turn 1 with him. So Ramovaj on the brand new set of hard compound tyres rejoins right behind, or right in front of Ivo. So that's very crucial for him not to get stuck behind another car as Jensen has left the session. So another DNF there for Jensen, unfortunately, but this is Monaco, so expect it.
Noldus tried to have a look at Bear Remy because Bear Remy was losing the back end like crazy. So Noldus had a quick look, but no can do for that move on Bear Remy. What Bear Remy needs to do is just to make sure Noldus is to stay in behind him, because Harry Kane and Bear Remy, they do normally speak to each other. Harry Kane will be like, right, my closest rival at the moment is Noldus. Bear Remy, do me a favour and keep Noldus behind me. That's all Bear Remy needs to do. And obviously make sure also trying to attack Langfeld at the same time.
Good evening, Daniel. Do you remember when we commentated the first time together in season 14 watching Laser check the championship? It's nice to see you here, mate, and hope you enjoy the action as well. We've only got 12 survivors left in this race. We're expecting many DNFs, and this got past Bear Remy. Oh, Bear Remy's made a mistake. He spun. Yeah. He spun out of Anthony nose, and that's good news for Noldus there. I'm not quite sure if Noldus hit the
rear wing as well,
and he lost his front wing too.
Rear wing and front wing. He might have got some rear wing damage because he's hit the wall with his rear wing as well. So yeah, another victim to go down in.
Oh, Oliver's hit the wall, sorry. Oliver hit the wall, and he made contact with Ramovaj, and he's put him in the wall. Through goes Ivo. He puts himself into P7 there. Ramovaj is slowing down. Yeah. Oliver lost the traction out of Massino there. Massino, what do I keep calling that for? I actually comment what the corner's called. Massine. I get confused between Casino and I'm saying Massino. That's why I say that. But he lost it out of Massine, made contact with Ramovaj, and broke his end plate, I think, again. That's a shame there for Ramovaj. He's just came out of the pit lane. That's the predicament you find yourself in when you go on new tyres against people on olds here in Monaco. Any other track, he could dispatch them quickly and easily. But look at this. Keynes right to the back of the McLaren, but still can't find a way through. Are you there, Oliver? Owen, sorry, did you have a problem with your mic?
I am here, but my headset has just failed. I'll be back in about 2 seconds. I'm just going to get another headset.
No worries indeed, mate. So we're watching Kane putting pressure on Pocket Valley guy. We're watching Noldus putting pressure on Langfeld at turn 1. Ramovaj retired in the pit lane. He's out of the Grand Prix. It's a massive shame. It's not the first time as well that he made contact with Oliver. It's the second time, because if you remember, he put Ramovaj against the wall, the exit at turn 3, and he leaves once again. So it's another dismal race for Ramovaj, and all these points being lost at the same time is not going to do him any favours whatsoever in the championship. Kane and Laser can extend the championship too, and Kane is right to the back of the McLaren, but can he find an overtake? He can't. He has to stay behind again.
I'm saying well because the amount of DNS we have already got, and Harry Kane might have a look. He backs out of it. To be honest, with Harry Kane, you shouldn't really be taking too much risks, because if he makes contact with Pocket Valley guy, that's probably his win over. as Remy has lost it again at turn 1, and I think he's also lost more of his front wing. Yes, he has. So he's about to get lapped here on Kofi. I do imagine, like I said, he has got rear wing damage, so he's currently down in P11. But yeah, Harry Kane, he just obviously the amount of mistakes that we're seeing at the moment from these guys. Harry Kane doesn't really want to take much more risks to even overtake at the moment. So obviously Noldus is pretty much nearly 12 seconds behind Harry Kane at the moment. So you should be seeing that and seeing that, you know, if 12 seconds ahead, why should I take any risks of getting an overtake done? Just I don't know, maybe pull more of an advantage, but does he really need more of the advantage? But he's really on his gearbox here. He's might actually going to go for a move. He's going to try for it. They nearly they did make contact, but again he's going to try and go around the outside. Oh,
no way!
This is really risky for him. Really risky. See, if I was Harry Kane right now, I'd be like, right, I'm not going to go for an overtake if he makes a mistake. But I think he might go for it again. No, he backs off.
He's defending.
That was really close.
Defending there very hard against Harry Kane. He's obliged to as well, not letting the Red Bull go or whatsoever. This is bringing the gap further extended towards Kofi, who can extend his first stint as we go down towards turn 1 with Harry Kane and Pocket Guy once again. He can't find a way through. It's just so difficult. That's the problem around here, Monaco. If you go for an early stop, you find cars ahead of you on all the tyres. But look at this, trying to go around the outside, but he doesn't have the speed or momentum to do so. Switching lines again. Can he get him down into Mirabo? Can he get a decent run out of here to go down the inside of turn 7? He can't, and once again he finds himself behind the McLaren driver. This is really hurting him down there in P4. But what's he got to gain, really? Because what's happened?
I've just had a look. While you were talking, sorry. Oh, who's made that's Beremy again? But I'm just having a look, and maybe Atlas Copo, maybe not. To be fair, maybe Kofi will probably be on that last podium spot because Atlas Copo is actually too far behind. But I was just looking at how many laps everyone was on, and Atlas Copo is basically his third place, with obviously the ones who've made a pit stop. But I think he's a bit too far away from Kofi to get that position and get that P3. I was about to say Atlas Copo is having a much cleaner race than he did yesterday. But yeah, I don't think he's too far away at the moment to finish on that podium.
He's picked himself a penalty, and Ivo's right behind Noldus, and Noldus been really held up here by Langford. Just can't find a way through. Red Bull, that's probably a safety car, is it? It is a safety car. A safety car has been deployed because Beremy has just crashed out at the back. Now, Owen, I don't know what division it was, but do you remember a situation when somebody had rear wing damage? They crashed out in Australia at turn 12.
Yes,
do you remember that?
I remember who it was. I can't remember. I remember the situation, but I can't remember who it was.
Oh, Harry Kane has got a 10-second time penalty. That's a severe collision with Pocket Guy, and this puts these guys back in contention, back on a level playing field, because the guys ahead will probably pit. I think Harry Kane will stay out to go towards the end because we know track position is key. So I think Kane, Noldus, and who else out there will stay out because they don't want to pit and rejoin behind the people who haven't pitted yet. So that makes sense. But wow, this race is totally.
I really thought Harry Kane is but this is the thing with if you pit really early like that. Obviously, you pitted in the virtual safety car, you might still maybe get it, but it's going to be close between Kofi and Harry Kane. Harry Kane's always got a 10-second penalty as well, and he might be able to get that removed in the stewards. But yeah, obviously Harry Kane now in the lead with obviously that 10-second penalty, but we'll have to see whether he will get that removed in the stewards report. And obviously it depends if he pits as well, because if he does pit again, he'll have to serve that as well. But obviously if he doesn't pit, that's 10 seconds will be added to his time, which then the stewards would then be able to remove that 10-second penalty. But that's the situation. If he pits, it's a risk of him not getting that 10-second penalty removed because he's served the penalty, if you know what I mean.
Guess who's back on the podium? MDJ. That overcut has worked for him, and he just rejoined ahead of Noldus. So Noldus pitted earlier under that VSC has really cost him now. He got stuck behind Langford for the majority of the race, and now MDJ finds himself on a podium. With 20 laps to go, he should remain there on a brand new set of the medium compound tyres. He's looking really handy for another podium. He's won here at the Monaco Grand Prix in season 14 last year, and now he's on the podium as well. So MDJ picked up his first podium of the season as well back at the Hungarian Grand Prix, slowly but surely making his way towards league racing. He's had glimpses of good pace, but at the same time he has struggled as well. He scored a podium in Hungary. He scored another podium, I think, at the Miami Grand Prix as well. So he's got 2 podiums this season, and his third one could be on the tally for him as well. Slowly but surely making his way towards the championship standings, overtaking Oliver and his old rival Glock. Glock is out of the race there in P13, so he'll probably leapfrog those two and put himself into P11 at the championship. So the championship right now, Harry Kane leads Laser by 3 points. This is after the Singapore Grand Prix, not now, because I don't have the live calculations for you like we do in the Formula 1. Ramovac P3, but we know he's out of the Grand Prix, so that means Laser and Harry Kane will gain more points. Barham is in 4th, but he's out of the race too, and Noldus is in 5th in the championship with 125 points. He will leapfrog Barham and potentially, no, Ramovac's too far ahead. Lord Danny Boys in P6 is also out of the race. Lagval's in 7th, he's in 6th right now, so he'll probably overtake his teammate for 6th place in the championship. Malnus is not here tonight, as he's usually a regular top 10 finisher, but he, for the first time this season at the Imola Grand Prix, he didn't score points out of the top 10 because of a spin at turn 7 at Peratella, and that was a very close there between Nordus and Pocket Valley Guy making contact. Glock's in 11th place, Pocket Valley Guy's in 10th. We know he made his debut back at the Dutch GP. He had a puncher. He picked up his first win as well back at the Imola Grand Prix after a fantastic drive from him. Glock on his return to a full-time drive. He was in the McLaren early doors, but now moved to Sauber, is in P11 in the championship. Sauber need these points as well, because before, I think the likes of Keenan Albarak and Wingish came in. They gained a whole lot of points, put him 6th place at the head of Mercedes and Visa Cash App Red Bull in the championship, and Ferrari too. So they go up to 6th in the championship. Oliver's at 12th place with 70 points, 7 points ahead of MDJ. Martin's in 14th place ahead of Draugen. Dobby, who made his debut last season at the Singapore Grand Prix, in 16th. He struggled a lot as well. Jensen, who made his debut at the Singapore Grand Prix last week, only scored 5 points because we know he struggled with the setup he had on his car. Voltage in 18th. We know that Voltage retired in this Grand Prix too. A safety car is in at the end of this lap, and we've got another Sauber on 20th place. It's Azon, but we haven't really seen the ETA driver quite a lot.
I just quickly changed my headset over, so I don't know personally any different, Jamie, but I've got to make sure for next week to get myself a new headset. So, but yeah, the safety car is in this lap. Harry Kane is just going to make sure it gets a good launch, doesn't make any mistakes. Haven't really made a mistake during this race. The only mistake really is obviously getting that 10-second penalty, but I'm sure he'll be able to get that removed if he obviously reports it. So yeah, he does get a good start, and Kofi does obviously follow him close. But 12-lap hard compound tyre compared to 2-lap old medium compound tyre. But Laser is now up to P8, getting past Atlas Koto. Obviously, I'm guessing down to turn 1. I'm guessing that was a pretty good move from Laser. Now up to P8. Obviously, the only mistake he's really made is that turn 1, lap 1 incident with Baremi. But yeah, no.
Danny inside, sorry, there's contact.
Yeah, that's not a good place to overtake. You can't really have 2 cars going into the hairpin, but not much damage has done. Langfeld, I'm guessing he didn't get any damage either. He's obviously let him go through. But yeah, you can't really overtake. With these modern cars, it's very difficult to overtake them, especially at the hairpin.
Yeah, remember Lewis Hamilton and Massa making contact under the hairpin as well, constantly making contact, even though they're both at full lock and they're both playing each other. Massa crashed out later in the race as well as Hamilton. Went up to the steward's room and he made a funny comment, which I won't repeat because I don't think it's appropriate. But for those who remember what I'm talking about back in 2011 with that interview, asking him why did he get so many penalties or why do you try the stewards, he brought out a funny response, but yeah, I can't repeat it on the stream. But Kofi he's in a great position to win this race. He knows he can sit behind Harry Kane. Will he dare go for an overtake? He doesn't have to, because Harry Kane's got a 10-second penalty, but you're a racer, you want to overtake on the track, but with a track like Monaco, where it's so easy to make contact with the barriers with a lapse of concentration, or just outbreaking yourself or picking up penalties, would you really want to risk it? Langford's under massive pressure from Ivor right behind as well as we go down towards the hairpin for the second time, but they don't make contact with Laser, stuck in P8. Even though Laser was last at the beginning of this Grand Prix, he survived all of this. He's up into P8 right now, so people crashed in front of him has benefited him, and he's moved himself up into P8. There's only 10 people left in this race. That's one more than yesterday's race.
I think McLaren are the only constructor as well where they have both cars in at the race at the moment as well. I think there's like at least one constructor, but yeah, both McLaren are still in this race as well. So we've got a constructor. I think it might be, I don't know who it is. It's Williams. Yeah, so Williams both out. So yeah, McLaren at the moment is the only two McLarens that are still on track, and then everyone else is like at least only one car. But I think Kofi might be going for a move here on Harry Kane. Where's he going to go? He's going to try and go around the outside, but obviously the wall closes in. He can't really do much here. But now he's going to try and get the move done down to Casino Square.
And Harry Kane is blocking him, not allowing him through, and frustrating the Sabo driver once again. He's on the medium compound tyres, so he needs to get past him quickly before they start to drop off like they usually do as we go down towards turn 7 at Mirabo. He's super close, but he just can't find a way through. Plenty of places to do it, but it's just the cars are too wide and therefore not able to make a move in any sort of place. Maybe down at the Nova Chicane, if he can get a decent run, get in behind the slipstream, or use the overtake battery and try and go alongside him going down into the Nova Chicane. Super close, but is he close enough? As we go down towards here, he downshifted to 6th gear and he doesn't make the move, but he knows he can stay behind him. I don't think Harry Kane can really Pocket Valley guy picks up a 3-second time penalty, but I don't think Harry Kane can build up a 10-second gap, can he? So I think Kofi cemented in P2 and for sure the race win.
Yeah, not a chance. But obviously with Kofi, I'm not sure if he's aware, but he might get that 10-second penalty appealed. So at the same time, he wants to try and get past as well, but he might go for it again. Goes to the inside, tries to go to the inside this time, but doesn't work. Again, Casino Square, really close. Maybe try and go down the inside, but again, you don't want to take any risks as well. You don't really want.
Look at this! I've up the inside into Casino Square. They're going side by side as we go to Massenet. Langford has the inside line. He stays in front of him. Ivor once again conquer pass. Once again, it's going to go down the inside into Mirabo. Can he make a stick? He forces him out wide, and he does as we continue the battle going down in towards the hairpin where he spun him last time. Ivor on the outside. He hits the wall on the exit. He gets him up to P6, but does he have damage? Langford's there around the outside as we go into Portier once again, and Ivor just stays ahead. Here comes Laser. He overtakes him as well. He moves himself up into P7, but did Ivor pick up any footwind damage? Here comes Laser, side by side with him, as he doesn't go for the overtake down here into chicane. Ivo just stays in front, but what's a move there from Ivo? This time it was clean, although he did hit the wall, but I don't think he's lost any damage, or gained any damage, sorry.
Yeah, so Laser taking advantage of them two battling as well. I think that's what Laser needed to do as well, is obviously he saw them two battling, so he needs to he needed to try and get involved in that battle. Obviously every position counts really. Try and the point gap between Harry Kane and Laser at the moment is a bit big. I think it's probably around about maybe 13, 14 points. Obviously Harry Kane is scoring 25 points. I'm not sure how much you get for 7 points, obviously with the SFR point system anyway. But I reckon it will be around about a 12 to 14 point difference that Harry Kane will be outscoring Laser by. So Laser needs to try and gain as many positions as he can. Obviously he's got Packet Valley Guy, his teammate has also got a 3-second penalty. So he is close to getting Valley Guy at the end as well.
How did you know that, Daniel? Because you can't really see it. The telemetry's turned off, as you always tell me to do, because I get shouted at. But Harry Kane once again skips the chicane, and I think he might have picked himself up his second warning there, because he might have just gone a bit too wide at the exit. And Kofi still frustrated to be stuck behind it, but he can afford to. But as you said, you never know if Kane could get his 10-second tapper to remove, because I didn't see on stream what happened to him and the driver he made contact with, Pocket Valley guy. It was under a safety car as well. As we exit the corner, DRS enabled again. You can see the wheel that the yellow bar is lower than 20%. Good inside. Here comes Kofi though, on the inside, into one. He can't make it, and Harry Kane's not phased. I think he's trying to dummy him, trying to force him to outbrake himself and hit the wall, but Harry Kane's too wise to it, and Kofi once again stays behind him for the time with MDJ over the back of him. Nordis is dropping away on the older hardcore power tires. It's a shame for Nordis because he got stuck in that train, but at the same time, you take the risk pitting early and being stuck behind people because you know there's a big chance of a safety car coming out later on in the Grand Prix too.
Yeah, so Kofi trying everything to try and get past Harry Kane at the moment. His only pace he can kind of do at the moment as a DRS advantage is down to turn 1. But yeah, he at the moment he can't do anything. It's a bit like Keith being behind me. I think Keith was behind me for about 12 laps. Like he said in interviews yesterday, it's Monaco you can't overtake. I know we've said that plenty of times already. But yeah, Kofi also just waiting for a mistake from Harry Kane, but Harry Kane hasn't really made. Oh, Kofi loses the back end, but no damage done. But as like I said, Harry Kane he's also hit a wall as well, but no damage done again. Harry Kane has had a decent race so far. He's not really made any mistakes, so for that 10-second penalty is the only mistake really, and it's a big, well, not a big mistake, but just a big annoying thing. He's got that 10-second right next to his name, but yeah, he's got to make sure just stay ahead really and see what he can do with stewards wise. Yeah, the gap's always been about 3 tenths, but like I said, Kofi just not getting close enough to get the overtake done.
Ivo's making big moves here as well. He's on the back of pocket Vatic. Oh, Kofi's picked himself up 3-second time penalty. This victory could go towards the man who won the Monaco Grand Prix 2 seasons ago. Our last time we had a Monaco Grand Prix, MDJ was the one that won. Now MDJ's in the hot spot to win this Grand Prix as long as he doesn't pick himself up a 3-second time penalty. He risked it all to Kofi, trying to get past Harry Kane. And Ivo is all over the back of pocket Vatic guy. Ivo, by the way, started out in the inside, can't quite make it, does get a decent launch out of turn 1, try to go alongside him, he doesn't. MDJ's dropping out the DRS here. Oliver's out of the race at the last corner. Is this going to be a safety car? It isn't. No VSC either.
Again, like I said earlier, there's no cars around, no other cars around him, so the game decides to not bring out a VSC or a safety car.
Keep an eye on Ivo and P6. He's making big moves here. He does not have a penalty, does the Haas driver. Could he be on for a potential podium? Although the gap's 2.7 towards Nordis indeed, because the 4 cars ahead of him have a penalty, especially Harry Kane with a 10-second penalty too. As he goes out wide, is this a big chance for Ivo to try and get past him going down in towards the chicane as he tries to collect with the car with a massive understeer with a broken wing? Here he is there. Can he outbrake him going into the chicane? He will. Side by side with the Haas. Can he? Oh, there's contact! And they're both with a spin. Contact. And through goes Laser now, opens up P5, and we'll leave that one down to the stewards there. Ivo, who's been in a fantastic race, was starting 18th with wheel problems, has now made contact with Pocket Body Guy, and guess who's gone through? Laser up into P5.
Yeah, taking the advantage as much as he can. So Laser is on for a podium finish.
He's only 8.5 seconds behind. He tried to push it rival. MDJ picks up another penalty. Sorry, Harry Kane. Harry Kane picks up a 3-second time penalty. That's 13 seconds.
That's definitely one he can't get appealed either, removed at all. So yeah, MDJ is his to lose now. He's just got to make sure MDJ has just got to make sure he is close to these two, and that's the win. It's exactly like what we saw back in Saudi Arabia with Smoke, with that podium finish. He just, I think there was 2 guys ahead of him with penalties. Smoke just made sure he was right there at the right time to obviously take that podium, and that's exactly what MDJ's got to do here today, but this time for the win.
So despite Laser being in the back of the field most of the time, he still might outscore Harry Kane, the man who's been leading this Grand Prix. So that's the problem when, that's what happens when you have consistency as well, because Laser hasn't picked up a penalty, although there's 10 laps left to go in this race.
9.6 is the gap between Laser and Harry Kane. So at the moment, at this point in time, Laser will overtake Harry Kane on penalties. It's going up towards 10.2. But at the moment, Laser will overtake Harry Kane, and Laser will be the one outscoring Harry Kane at this point in time.
Well, the last time I looked at it, the gap was like 8 seconds. That was 10.2. So I think Laser is struggling out there, even though he's on newer medium compound tyres. Pocket Van, the guy, is in the pit lane to change his nose after he broke it with Ivo. Ivo's in a bonus set of softs. He was running a decent race so far. Could have been on course for a podium, was the Haas driver. He had wheel connection issues. We saw the true potential from him, and hopefully he sticks around, because I know he's a quick driver. He's in CPI for a reason, and CPI are not a bunch of slouts either. talented drivers, and they have them racing esports events as well. So I know Ivo, he races in different leagues and esports teams as well. He's been very quick as well. So that's why they chose him as the CPR driver, Shizou and ILT. The ones also other esports teams around here with OWR and TNR as well. So we've got lots of different esports teams here.
Yeah, 11.1 is now the gap with the Laser and Harry Kane. So I think by the looks of it, the medium compound tyres has now pretty much fell off quite quickly, to be fair, unexpectedly. But yeah, Kofi and MDJ still sticking with Harry Kane. So unless it's because just Laser is just struggling around the circuit, it might be that, to be fair. Because by the looks of it, Kofi is still behind Harry Kane. Is not really falling away from Harry Kane. So yeah, I think it's just Laser just struggling a bit around here, to be fair.
So here we are then with Kofi following the Red Bull once again. MDJ will get the victory. Kofi will have to settle for P2 after picking up a 3-second tablet, risking it all to get past Kane, but we know it's difficult to overtake in Monaco. If I was Kofi, I honestly would have stayed behind Harry Kane and just followed him all the way to the line, because he's got a 3-second tablet and a 10-second tablet, so I know I'm going to win the Grand Prix, but he risked it. It's nice to see, though, he's trying to make the move despite knowing the guy in front has a penalty. He's trying to give us an entertainment and trying to win on track as well, because at the end of the day, we all want to win on pride as well, because we want to feel like a deserved victory.
MDJ is starting to fall back a bit. The gap's now 1.6. He was right behind Kofi, but he's starting to fall away a bit now. So this win might start to fall off from him if he can't keep up. Look, it's now nearly 2 seconds. So MDJ is now starting to struggle as well.
Yeah, the man who won in season 14 of the Monaco Grand Prix is now starting to fall away. The gap is 2.1 seconds there. So another second, Kofi could still be a contention to win this Grand Prix then. He might be sticking with Harry Kane's DRS to try and build up the gap towards MDJ. Those medium compound tyres are struggling. I see that they're sliding around on those mediums, losing traction and massive wheel spin too for good measure on their meds. But MDJ, can he try and get the gap under 3 seconds to try and get his first win of the season? He hasn't picked one up yet, but he's definitely had 2 podiums this season. He was very close. Ivo has retired from the Monaco Grand Prix, so we're down to 8 finishes only in this race. We expected this, people retiring, so hopefully back to normal as Laser picks himself up a 3-second tablet. But I hope we go back to normal at the Canadian Grand Prix. This is just a one-off for me.
Yeah, it's just one of those tracks where one slightest mistake, like I said at the start of the stream, one slightest of mistakes will have big consequences. But yeah, I haven't seen this for a very long time with the amount of DNS, but they're not DNS from retiring in the pits. They are genuine mistakes.
Next week. Unlucky Ivo, and well success next week. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Hopefully you stay with us, because trust me, it's a lot better than this. Making your debut here about Monaco, you expect a lot of things like this to happen. But the gap's 3 seconds now between himself and Kofi. So the gap's got over 3 seconds. So Kofi now could be in the chance to win this Grand Prix after extending the gap towards MDJ.
Kofi is now started to fall back as well now. The gap's now 1.2, and that was important for Harry Kane to drop the DRS. I know it's probably not as powerful as around here as all the other tracks, but yeah, it's now has gone back under a second again, but that's important for Harry Kane.
So we still need to investigate what happened, because we never know if Pocky by the guy slammed on the brakes and why Harry Kane hit the back of him. So that 10-second tablet could have been removed. So Kofi's got to watch out as well, not to drop out the 3-second range, because these medium compound tyres, they fall off and crumble dramatically. The hards are durable. When they start to wear off, you don't really feel like that. The mediums do, the softer tyre. So Kofi's got to watch out too to get that gap under 3 seconds. He's built the gap over 4 seconds now, so a definite P2 was on, maybe a win, depending if he can stay under 3 seconds. So I want to see what happens between Kane and a Pocky Vada guy between P1 and PA. He appealed his incident last week, and he won, and literally won on the track as well, because he lost the win due to Wingish overtaking him. But he appealed it and got the win back. So we'll see if that works again. But the first thing he needs to do is build a gap over 3 seconds and see if he can appeal that incident.
Well, obviously Kofi's already got a 3-second penalty, so basically this is the gap between the two is 1.2. So yeah, basically it's just on Harry Kane whether he wants to. I'm sure he will appeal that 10-second penalty, but it was basically whoever finishes first on track today was going to get the win. And like I said, Kofi is now starting to fall back. 1.5 is the gap, with only about 5 laps to go as well, so not long to go either.
Noldus is catching up towards MDJ. He can feel those medium compound tyres going off.
Yeah, but yeah, you can definitely see the medium compound tyres really are struggling now. 15 lap medium compound tyres compared to 25 or 26 lap hard compound tyres. Again, I think it's one of those tracks where the hard compound tyres can pretty much do the whole race. But yeah, half second between MDJ and Nordis. But and if Nordis wants to finish on that podium, he needs to get past MDJ and try and gain that 3-second penalty within about 4 laps.
Noldus, the one looking likely for a podium before that VSC came out, but unfortunately for him, got stuck behind traffic. That was Langfell. He got stuck behind. He caused a massive train as well for good measure. When that VSC came out, MDJ leapfrogged him in the pit lane on the brand new set medium tyres, but the mediums are starting to drop off now. And we'll see, can MDJ survive this? He doesn't have a 3-second penalty, so all he's got to do is keep it nice and clean on the track and don't pick up a penalty, because Noldus will be there to strike. You see the mediums are definitely starting to fall off now. Kofi, the gap is 1.7 between himself and Harry Kane, so Harry Kane's left alone, but we know he's got a 30-second penalty coming his way after the Grand Prix. Alas Copo and MDJ, the only two not to pick up a 3-second penalty. If I remember yesterday, didn't Alas Copo retire early doors as well in the race? He still managed to survive as well in this Division 1 race. So 7th place is a good result for him.
Yeah. So yeah, he did make a couple of mistakes. As you know, he made that mistake at the casino section where I got past, and then he made the secondary mistake. He lost the back end or final corner. I think he damaged his front wing on that start-finish straight as well. I think those are the only 2 mistakes he really made, but he's definitely had a cleaner. Well, I think he's had a cleaner race today. We haven't mentioned him that much today, for obvious reasons. He's just been alone really. But yeah, no, it's been a decent race from Atlas Copo today as well.
Yeah, fantastic indeed. On 18-lap old hard compound tyres, Pocket Valley guy will not catch him. So, and he's also got a penalty for good measure. So P7 for him is cemented. The main battle we're watching now is MDJ and Noldus in P3 and P4. And Noldus just being stuck behind in traffic like he was behind Langfeld a few moments ago before that second VSC or third VSC came out. We've had one full safety car with about 3 or 4 VSCs in this Grand Prix, unsurprisingly as well, as Noldus just taps the wall at the swimming pool section there. But Lewis Hamilton, I think, was back in 2021. And he says, what did Ellie say? Let me go on the YouTube stream to find what she said, because she said something quite funny. Let me have a look.
What happened to everyone? I feel like I was only gone for 10 minutes. Basically, everyone's crashed out.
Yep, everybody's gone. Only 8 of them left in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, no, I'd say it's just one of those tracks where it's yeah, I've said it before like 5 minutes ago, but I'll say it again. One of those tracks where you make the slightest error could cause big consequences. But yeah, there's a lot of DNFs here today compared to Division 2 and Division 1. But yeah, it's one of them. Division 1 is obviously a quicker division, quicker drivers. Oh, Noldus!
Oh no! He's crashed!
Noldus!
Oh dear!
Oh no!
Oh
He's done
no!
what Zenon did as well. Oh,
That caught me by surprise. It made me jump, that crash. Oh, laser piece of penalty. Laser piece of 3-second penalty. And yeah, MDJ will no longer feel the pressure from the Norwegian behind him as Laser moves up into P4 now with Langfell in P5. Good points for those two, and this is really great for Laser as well to minimise damage limitation for him, because remember what happened to him on lap 1. Taken out with Bear Remy, he goes into pit lane for a new wing. He just broke it. So that's why it's the pit lane. But well, lap 38 out of 39, things have calmed down. There's no battles on the track, so let's just embrace this race.
Laser's going to try and go for fastest lap now. So yeah, for some reason he's decided to go for the fastest lap over track position.
Yeah, that's surprising. Some more points to get one more. I don't know what that's about. But Langfell's up into P4, his best result of the season as well. and he's not going to get a podium. But P4 is a very good result around here in Monaco, keeping it nice and clean. He did get tapped around by Ivo too, after the first safety car. And Atlas Scopo, he's almost within under 3 seconds. Can he get P4 off Langfell? And Atlas Copo, despite a miserable race yesterday, fighting for a podium after crashing out, he's up into P5 here, and a potential P4 could be coming his way. Atlas Copo. So that's funny how things work, isn't it? From Division 2 to Division 1.
Yeah, like I said, I think those medium compound tyres are absolutely screaming at the moment. But yeah, the rear tyres obviously suffer more out of the two fronts. Obviously, with the traction and that, there's more wheel spin, which obviously then loses grip on the rear tyres. Obviously, rear wheel drive cars these are. So yeah, you'll get a lot more wheel spinning on the front, which obviously you'll lose more grip over time. And yeah, so a lot of these guys now will be struggling for rear end grip.
Not anymore. There's one more lap.
On the mediums.
It's the last lap, and our leaders are coming towards the end of the third set. Harry Kane, unfortunately, picking up a 10-second penalty from the expense of Pocket Valley guy. He's looking for his 8th win of the season, but he won't get it here in Monaco. But the Red Bull driver, though, will come across the line to finish in P1. But we turn our attention to the Sauber driver in P2. He comes across the line to win his first race on his debut here in Monaco. What a fantastic victory. Congratulations to Kofi in P1 there. MDJ will pick up his 3rd podium of the season in P3. A stunning drive for him after starting down in 15th place, I believe. Langfell, a solid race for him. Alex Copo dropped away 2.2 in 1 lap, so he will cement P4 unless, of course, he has a 6-second penalty. Let me just check it very quickly. Nope, just a 3-second penalty. Congratulations to Langfell. His best result of the season will finish in P4. Alex Copo, the Division 2 driver, will come across the line to secure his best result in Division 1 this season in P5. And here comes the two McLarens. Surely Laser will pick up the fastest lap of the race. Both McLarens will finish in P6 and P7. They both had their own adventures out there today. Pocket Valley guy was already a lap down. That's why Laser was the last to cross the line in P6.
Yeah, so that's the Monaco Grand Prix over and done. I have a feeling we won't be seeing that next season. We normally only do Monaco for 1 season per game. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this track will probably get replaced. If it is a full season again next season, it'll probably most likely be replaced by Portugal, because that is one track on the game that obviously is not in the actual F1 calendar. But yeah, no, that's the Monaco Grand Prix over and dusted.
Portimao is one of my favourite tracks. I absolutely love the circuit as well. I love to watch it in league racing. It was Hazara who dominated there last season in the Portuguese Grand Prix. But unfortunately, he's not here this season because he's got his own things going on in the EML. He is a ETA driver, if I'm not mistaken. It's Shazoo or ETA. I can't remember which one he is now. But yeah, he's doing a very good job himself, I believe he is. I don't watch the EML races like I used to, because I used to be a commentator there, but not anymore, because I decided to step down and commentate for SFR. I might be a full-time commentator for D3, 2 and 1, so I got to commentate for 3 divisions in SFR. I'm literally the voice of SFR. But there is your results then today. Kofi, the Kickstarter, the man that started P11 on his debut, finishes in 1st place after a fantastic drive. Hurricane in P2, a dismal result for him, knowing he could have won the Grand Prix, but contact was made with Pocket by the guy. MDJ started 15th to finish in 3rd place, timed it right with the virtual safety car and safety car itself to jump Nordis in the pit lane, although Nordis retired. Here's Langfell, his best result, starting P14 to finish in P4. Alex Copo in P5 ahead of both McLaren drivers as Pocket Valley guy took the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so it did not belong to Laser. Laser was only a few hundreds away from the podium interviews. Langfell says, "Can I join the podium interviews? Do you know what? I don't have work tomorrow, so why not? I don't have to go to bed early, so let Langfell join the party because it probably."
Yeah, I'll send an invite over to him, and we are now ready for episode 3 of the Harry Kane podcast.
It won't be as long as this. It won't be as long as this time because other people join. I'm not quite sure where Kofi's from, if he can speak English or not. Although he's speaking English right now in the Discord server, so hopefully we can get him in for an interview.
I'm from England, don't worry.
Oh, he's here. Sorry, I didn't know you were here.
Yeah, top 3 are here. I've just
from you,
invited.
don't worry.
Top 3
So-
just invited Langfeld now, so yeah.
We'll go from P4. By the way, I'll never do this again. It's just a one-off. But we'll go from P4 to P1. Langfeld, are you here in the party?
Not yet, I've literally just sent an invite.
Oh,
so, we'll see.
sorry.
It's alright.
Let me just tag him. We'll start with MDJ, not to keep him waiting. So MDJ, mate, you're back on the podium. Congratulations. The last time we raced around Monaco in Div 1, you won the Grand Prix, but we're on different games this time. So I don't think you adjusted to this game as you were back in 23. But were you surprised to get a podium today?
Yeah, pretty much. I hadn't done any practice to Monaco, and I was like, looking at the qualifying, I was like, we're not gonna be somewhere in the points. So, being in P3 was the last thing in my mind until like the safety car moment. That was actually the first moment I was thinking about the win, because I was keeping up to the front. But then at some point they just drove away. My tires were gone, so I couldn't keep up.
Yeah, you were on course for potential win because Kofi picked himself a penalty. Harry Kane had a 13-second tire penalty. So when those two had their penalties, did you think, oh, this is a big opportunity to win now?
Yeah, definitely. And I was trying to keep close to them, and I thought in my head that there was only 4 or 5 laps left, and then 4 or 5 laps later, I looked at the top and I was, damn, there's 10 more.
And when was the moment when the medium compound tires started to drop away?
Yeah, I think it was halfway through. They just started to die, and I noticed that Noldes was also catching up, so I was like, well, this is it.
You also had a good first lap. You started P15, you made your way up to P9. I believe others around you had their misfortunes, whether it was, I think it was Remy and Laser who went off at turn 1. So you had a very good start yourself up to P9. Your teammate was in a very good place too. So both of you in the RB were doing well. But unfortunately, your teammate crashed out of the race. And was you in a party with him at the time when you both were racing?
No, I was on my own, listening to Eurobeat.
Listen to who, sorry?
Eurobeat.
Oh.
You know the song genre.
Yeah, I do. But yeah, I do. I do know the song genre. But when was the moment you realised that potential podium could be on the way for you?
Well, when the safety car came out, I was like, okay, now I can get a podium out of this. But I was not thinking about the win, and I was thinking about the win like 3 or 4 laps later.
I repeated that question twice. I wanted to say, what was your reaction when you jumped Noldes, because he was on the podium before the VSC came out. He pitted under the VSC, so he was stuck in track position. He was stuck in P7, I believe, losing track position. And when you came out of the pit lane, what was your reaction ahead of him?
I mean, I knew that there was going to be a safety car at some point with all the VSCs coming up. I knew there was going to be one safety car, and so I waited and waited, and knowing that the other guys on the VSC would lose a lot more time than I would lose on a full safety car course, I thought it's worth it. And when I saw that Nordis was behind me, I knew that my strategy worked.
Congratulations on P3. You drove mega today, mate. I don't think you didn't pick up a penalty, did you? You were one of the early people that didn't pick up a penalty.
Me with one other guy did not get any penalties.
It was Copo. You didn't get a penalty. And also, towards the end of the race, were you ever nervous about Noldes going for a move with you on dying tyres?
He was going for a move one of the last corners, but I didn't really think about it much.
Were you ever nervous about when if he overtook you, that he pull a 3-second gap because those tyres were wearing out too much?
His tires weren't out too much?
Your tyres.
No, sorry, I don't. Not that I know. No.
Well, congrats today on P3, mate. And how do you feel for the Canadian Grand Prix?
we'll see if I can make it. Like there are some things that are keeping me away from racing at the moment, so we'll see if I make it.
Well, we'll see indeed. Congratulations on your third podium of the season, and every time you pick up a podium, it's always an interesting race. Hungarian Grand Prix, when you've picked up your first podium, when it was the wets towards the end, and you were on the right side at the right time, fighting laser for the win. And I think you also picked up another podium. Was it at the Miami Grand Prix?
I have absolutely no clue.
It does say 2 podiums here, but I think it was at Miami when somebody had a post-race penalty.
Most likely, probably.
I
think Miami was one of the races that I actually was competitive, just like today. But today was also a bit of luck.
Well, congratulations today, mate, and we'll see you Canada next week if you are racing.
Yes, thank you.
Moving on to the man that finished in P4, which is TNR Langfell. Langfell, mate, congratulations on your best result of the season, and just talk us through your race, mate, because I know saying yes to you was a bit of a stretch because I don't want to keep the guys waiting in P1 and P2, so just talk us through your race.
Well, absolute chaos, and the strat was just to go long and keep everyone behind me since it's almost impossible to overtake. Safety car came at a bad time, but when everyone else crash around you, it's I'll take that spot.
Yeah, a lot of people dropped out like flies around you, and you're able to get one place at a time.
Yes.
Also, you're a regular top 10 finisher. I notice you're always there at the top 10, and that's very crucial for your points as well, because both of you are fighting with Aston Martin and Sauber in the championship as well. So those regular top 10 finishers could benefit you later on in the season too. You and Lord Danny Boy, you're not too far away from each other from the drivers either. So what's it like with you and Lord Danny Boy's teammates? Are you working well together in the last few races?
I'm barely practicing, so I think I'm just lucky and he is unlucky. So if we both get our shits together, maybe we could fight for a team win. I don't know.
And how did you feel for the Canadian Grand Prix next week?
A slightly better track than this, but we'll see. Probably rain.
You like the rain?
Yeah, I join driving in the rain.
And hopefully one better in the next upcoming races.
Thank you, and congratulations to the top 3.
Thank you, mate. Moving on to P2, which is Matthias. Oh, Matthias, mate, you missed out on a win due to picking up a Tesla catapulty. What happened between you and Pocket Vadder guy during that safety car?
The thing for me that was I was in red first in the I don't know what turn, the first turn, second sector, and then I went green and I went on the gas a bit, and then I saw that Pocket was stood still almost, so I had to brake as much as I could and turn away, and there was just nothing to do. He was standing still in the middle of the track, and as I see it, he created a dangerous situation, and I hopefully will get the penalty removed, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for you because it cost you your 7th win as well, or 8th win of the season. And what was you thinking during that race? Did you hope and pray that the medium compound tyres would just drop off dramatically and you try and do something about the gap behind, minimize the damage?
Yeah, I always knew that the mediums wouldn't be good in the end, and I knew that my hards would last to the end. So yeah, I was just keeping them behind. I almost lost it when I didn't have any ERS left, but then the tires started to drop and I got the advantage, and I had good pace, so I could drive away from MDJ. But yeah, Coffin was fast and kept with me a long time, and I don't know why, but I lost like 3/10 in the hairpin every lap, and yeah, just couldn't drive away from him.
We also saw you under massive pressure twice in this race, one from Crossfire Strikes and the other one from Kofi, and they both put a lot of pressure on you. How difficult is it to concentrate on the track while there's two drivers, or when you're under pressure from two different times in the race?
Yeah, it's difficult, but it's Monaco, so it's not like it's anywhere else, because if they are 2 tenths behind you, they are going past on any other track than Monaco. But in Monaco, even if you are side by side, like I was with Pocket, and he shot me into the wall, you could defend. It's so difficult to overtake, and if you are side by side, you lose time. Or even if you try to overtake or make a mistake, you lose time. So it's just really nothing you can do.
And yeah, congratulations today on how you came on P2. May not be in the win, but you had the pace for the whole of it. And what was your reaction as well when that safety car came out, caused by, I think, your own teammate?
Yeah, I talked about it in the like 8 laps before he crashed. When he got the damage, he got wing damage in the rear wing, so it was difficult to drive, of course. And I said to him, it's best if you retire, but there is also a lot of points to get when half of the grid already are out of the race, and he decided that he wanted to get the points. Yeah, I would have done the same. I would have gone for the points, and unfortunately he didn't manage to finish the race. But yeah, I made a mistake, and that cost him last week. He made a mistake this week, and yeah, it is what it is. But I had good pace. I have P2 now. Maybe I'll get P1. But the most important is that I do still extend the championship lead.
Yeah, that's crucial, because Laser, I think, finished in P6 after he went for a pit stop, which is surprising. He lost track position and lost a few places too. So most importantly for you, even though it's not a win, it's still a win for you, because you extend your championship gap over Romovaj and Laser Lord as well. So that's a benefit for you to take away today.
Yeah, I knew that I probably would have some points on them, but I didn't know that, like, how many didn't finish. It was like 13 or something.
Well, easy to say who finished.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. Maybe people need to be a bit more disciplined, and that has been said in the earlier races, not just in Monaco. I understand if it's a one-off because it's Monaco, but it's too many crashes in the first division. It's not that clean, and yeah. But yeah, I would think that I would get more points than Laser than I did, but yeah, I'd still get more points, and I'm happy with that.
Well, even though you got second place, great defended today, because Crossfire crashed himself out, no chicane, and Kofi wasn't able to get past you, and therefore his medium compound tyres were dying, and you were able to pull away. So congratulations on defending today. You did a fantastic job despite your own penalty, and P2's a good result. And how do you feel for the Canadian Grand Prix next week, Matthias?
Yeah, it's a fun track, a bit difficult to get right. But I think we can make a good race out of it.
Well, well done today, mate. And Owen, you got any questions for Matthias?
No, I haven't. But again, brilliant result for you. Again, I'm guessing, depending on the stewards, 8th win of the season. I've never seen that many wins in a season, and we're only halfway through. So Yeah, no, good result again for you, Harry Kane. Obviously, you've been really consistent at the moment. Yeah, we'll see you again in Canada for episode 4 of the Harry Kane podcast.
Yeah, thanks.
Season 14, MDJ picked 7 wins up, and that was for the whole season. It's 7 wins, and Harry Kane's got 7 now, and we're not even, we're just halfway through, or almost halfway through. So that's incredible stats there for you, Matthias. Well done. But we move on to the race winner, who's waited patiently today for an interview, because we've had 4 people here. Kofi, mate, well done today on your debut here. You started in 11th place, and you were stuck behind Harry Kane, but when you picked up that 10-second penalty, was you thinking, what was your thought process? Because you didn't have to go for those moves, but at the same time, you're a racer. You want to go for it. You want to win it on the track. Was that what you were thinking?
Well, I knew that he'd try and go for the second penalty moved, because no one gets 10-second penalty based off, like, pure mistakes. So I knew I had to go the move, but my medium just fell off a cliff around lap 30, and I couldn't keep up with him.
Sorry about that. Yeah, let me turn you up a bit because you were a bit low. There you go. Can you repeat what you said? Sorry about
that. Well, I knew I had to try and get past him because the 10-second penalty was something that I knew he was gonna try and get removed. No one really gets penalties like that without it being caused by someone. So, but then my mediums fell off a cliff on round lap 30, and he just pulled away, and I couldn't do anything about it.
And also, were you nervous about MDJ as well, because you had a penalty, but he didn't. But at the same time, his medium starts had more effect on yours. So, were you nervous about the race being going away for you towards the last stages?
Very, but then I don't know what happened, but I'm assuming his mediums just dropped before mine because I pulled a gap and held it.
And you started at P11, you started with the hardcore power tyres, so you're going for that long stint. And during the VSC, I think you were one of the people that stayed out today, and it benefits you as well, because when the actual safety car came out, I think you pitted under the actual safety car, put on a bunch of mediums, and you were in a fight with Harry Kane towards the end to see who could win. And he also picked himself with a 3-second penalty, but were you under that 3-second penalty, just over it, towards the end?
I think at the end I was just over it.
Yeah, so I think your fate lies in Harry Kane's hands, whether the 10-second penalty can get removed or not. But still, Kofi, that it's still a good result today, because you made your way to the field without any contact, and you had great pace today. You and your teammates swapped places, I think. I'm not quite sure if I saw what I saw on the stream, but did Glock make a mistake at the final corner? Is that why you got too easy?
Yeah, he nearly spun out the last corner, and I just got past him. But then I nearly spun halfway down the lap and nearly lost it again.
Yeah, I saw you two swap, but I didn't realise it was down to his mistake, because when I went on ball with him, he was a ghost, so I presumed he made a mistake, but I didn't want to say it just in case. But yeah, forward on today, Kofi, you did a fantastic job, and I know it doesn't look good with 8 people finishing this race on your debut, but at the same time, we've got much better. We've had a stat, Kofi, that we've barely had any safety cars in the last few races, so this is just a one-off. Hopefully you don't have a bad image on us.
Oh no, I actually think this is one of the best leagues I've been in. Everyone can actually race, so it's an improvement.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have you here as well, because Sauber really need the points as well to build up their championship as well, aspirations further up the constructors. So, how are you feeling for the Canadian Grand Prix next week if you're racing?
Honestly, terrible. I hate Canada, but I'll practice and hopefully I'll get a result.
And with your pace today, do you think you could challenge these guys as well more in the next upcoming races? Do you think you got the pace to try and be up there with these guys?
If they've got similar pace to how they did today, then yeah. But I'm not sure if it's just a one-off, because Monaco's always been my best track, or whether this is the pace. If it is, I think I can compete. If not, then I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll have to practice them.
Well, congratulations on your debut today, if you win or not, but still, it's a great drive today finishing in P1, and we'll see what happens post-race penalty, because Harry Kane got his penalty removed last time, with a Sauber winning in P2, because it was a big issue finished in P2 with a Sauber last week, and he won, but Harry Kane appealed his penalty, and he got the win back, so it could be the same scenario today, with the Sauber losing the win. Could be another same situation like that, with the Sauber losing the win again.
I'm praying it's not, but if it happens, it happens.
P2 is still a good result regardless, though, and P1, so yeah, well done today, mate.
Thank you.
And Owen, you got any questions to ask to Kofi?
No, I haven't again. But like I said, well, I haven't said anything to be fair. Good, just a good result from you, Kofi, on your debut on your obviously P2 minimum. But yeah, no. Best of luck for Canada. Hope to see you on the podium soon.
Thank you.
Again.
Thank you.
Right, so right off there, we finished finally for the Monaco Grand Prix for Div 3, Div 2 and Div 4. We can get out of here and enjoy some more proper racing action at the Canadian Grand Prix onwards. So thank you, Owen, for commentating with me today. It's been a pleasure as always, mate.
Yeah, see you next week.
We'll see you all next week for the Canadian Grand Prix. Join us back for Div 3, Div 2 and Div 1. Div 3 being myself, Div 2 being myself and Oliver, and Div 1 being myself and Owen for 7:30 at the Canadian Grand Prix. So join me back 3 times next week, and we'll see you all then. Have a good weekend and take care. Goodbye and good night.